bioslurry is one of what we call biofertilizers that are critical in building the soil health of the land that we till. So this conference particularly wants to highlight the importance of farmers getting back to the natural systems of inputs, utilizing organic fertilizer into their farms so that we can actually achieve soil health, we can achieve increased soil fertility, and we can heal our soil because our soil right now is sick. So the purpose of this conference basically is to bring together all these players that are concerned in the agriculture sector and also in the energy sector to see how this technology called biodigester can transform the farm in terms of building their capacity to farm green and also building their capacity to cook green with the gas and the bioslurry.
So there's a huge potential in Kenya. So there are mostly we are building biogas together with farmers and dairy farmers. So you need manure for the biogas installation. So there are more than 1.6 million smallholder farmers in Kenya. Up to now we have built 17,000 biogas installations in Kenya.
Africa Biogas Partnership Program is a public-private partnership between the government of Kenya under the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum and HIVOS and SNV, where HIVOS plays the role of fund management and SNV plays the role of technical, the technical advisors of the program. So that is why you see HIVOS, ABPPP, SNV, and the logo of the government, and the Kenya Biogas Program as the main host of this particular conference. So help me invite and welcome Mr. BIOGAS on stage.
Thank you very much. The Director of Renewable Energy, Mr. John Maina, all other directors who are here from the different state departments like livestock and agriculture, all other partners, NGOs, the biogas entrepreneurs, farmers, all protocol observed. Thank you for coming here this morning. It's my honor and great pleasure to welcome you on behalf of HIVOS and SNV on the first Kenya National Bioslurry Extension Conference. The initiative of this program was taken by our Kenyan Biogas program and the national implementer of the African Biogas Partnership Program, which is currently running in 5 countries, and Kenya, Ethiopia, Tanzania, Uganda, and Burkina Faso. In Africa, we have 70,000 biogas installations at the moment, so reaching 350,000 people. And this has a total market value of $50 million. So what is the future of biogas? The market is huge. If you look at Kenya here, we have more than 1.6 million dairy farmers, and we have only 17,000, although it's a big achievement, but only 17,000 biogas installations. I don't say that the 1.6 million can all have a biogas installation, but it shows at least that there is a huge market potential in Kenya. And we see also much more. It's not only manure, but also other waste products who are added to the biogas installation. So in conclusion, if the Kenya biogas sector at large want to seriously accelerate this uptake of biodigesters, all key stakeholders have to come and to commit to promote the biogas technologies, not as only as an energy solution, but rather as a climate smart solution. So also including the nexus of the food security, together with health and the environmental issues which I have mentioned already. Thank you very much.
Bioslurry has been documented to be a good fertilizer, which is cheap, actually readily available. It cannot scorch the plant. It is also able to supplement water supply. That is, It is always wet, so the crop gets the nutrients as it also gets moisture, especially in water-stressed areas.
One of the things that we really want to achieve from this particular conference is, number one, we need information to go down and also information to go up. We need farmers to share to the ministry their challenges and the needs that they have in terms of fertilizer use and fertilizer utilization. We want also the policy to bring down information on the opportunities that exist within government that farmers and other players can take advantage of.
The ministry has also been doing institutional biogas plants, and we started a pilot one in Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology. This was a big digester of 385 cubic meters. We also went further to another institution called Kaimosi Teachers, which later became a university. We did a 200 cubic meter. We also did another one at the University of Nairobi, the College of Agriculture and Veterinary Sciences. And this, again, was a 120 cubic meter. And in most facilities, you realize that they have reduced their consumption of firewood by 30%. So it may not substitute completely, but 30% saving is good. There are some pillars which we feel are important towards adoption, and one of them which will be the enabling government policies, including FAT, tax exemptions and standards. So since those ones are in place, then we should be able to improve the adoption. There is also need for focused advocacy. What I mean by focus is that not just advocating for the sake of it. So these institutions will champion the interests of the industry. And I'm happy to note that there is the Kenya Biogas Network, which we call BioNet, and which is also supported by SNV. And I believe this is a good beginning.
Much as bioslurry looks very nice and very interesting, we think there are a few issues that we need to be aware of as we promote it. One of them is that when bioslurry is directly incorporated into the soil for crop production, there are some risks which we think are overlooked. And there is a false belief that when the manure goes through the digestive system of the digestive system for production of biogas, then all pathogens that are present in the manure are actually killed and they don't survive. But I think depending on the temperature and the time that the manure stays in the system, it is possible that some pathogens actually survive, and the bioslurry that is produced may contain some harmful bacteria, some nematodes. Then the last policy option is that the national government, in collaboration with the county governments, will provide capacity to promote organic farming for sustainable crops, livestock, and fisheries production. So I think there is, we've said that in regard to the use of bioslurry, we don't know when it should be used and how it should be used. That is a capacity issue, and the policy suggests that the county and national government should provide capacity, should address capacity issues in that regard. Which policy suggestions does it make? One is that there is an urgent need to reduce the rate of emissions from livestock manure. Secondly, we need to formulate and support programs that promote the development and use of low-emission technologies to manage livestock manure, for which the biogas technology is definitely one of them. So in regard to policy, those are the key guiding documents as far as the Ministry of Agriculture is concerned.
is not only replacing the NPK, it is also increasing the soil quality, and it is probably also giving better coffee. What do you know about this?
And we have cases from Latin America and also a few from East Africa, whereby you see amazing results in terms of the quality of the coffee and the quantity of the coffee. So if it's applied in a proper way at the right time, yeah, sorry, there's wonders on coffee plants. For your example, we have a study book from EVOS that compiled many cases. There are also coffee cases in there, so I would like you all to read that booklet. Our colleagues in Uganda did also some field studies on slurry application on coffee. That study we can share as well. Yeah, both on quality of coffee and the quantity of the coffee, it has very good results. I hope that's a bit of your answer, Ernest. Thank you.
This is quite interesting. The BioGas Limited company that is actually producing 2.8 megawatts of energy in Naivasha by use of the biodigesters. And they're using flower cuttings from horticulture farmers and vegetable waste to produce all this amount of energy. It is something to behold and something for us as Nakuru to be proud of. We also need to have the baseline studies. This will cut across all the counties, and this is an idea that I'm also going to send it to the Council of Governors for us to know where are we in terms of the usage of this technology. Then we can be able to say, in the next 5 years, we have been able to move from this point to the next point. This must be concerted effort of all of us as stakeholders to ensure that counties are able to develop sanitary landfills and harness the advantage of modern ways of disposing solid waste. Thank you and God bless.
Well, I would like to get a quick reaction to engineer's presentation.
Maybe when a farmer invests so much, we can give back part of the cost. This one will definitely promote production of the biogas. And further, it will increase the productivity of our agricultural products. Look, let you come with a strategy that can be tangible to promote biogas construction in the country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, engineer. Let's appreciate the engineer.
On the first round, we were, observed different scenarios of bioslurry, how bioslurry is being managed by smallholder farmers. And our conclusion was that bioslurry is not seen as a resource, and most of the time it's actually being discharged into the surrounding field, bush, or even into the public drains.
In our shops here, we usually have, we call it EM1. With the EM1, you can use it to improve your compost. We need more research to be done on this bioslurry, on how to improve the compost quality. We usually invite farmers, which we call field days, to come and evaluate and see for themselves which treatment or which farmer who put very little or too much, which performed better. As we do our research, they also run with us. So they run as we also do our scientific experiments. With that, at the end of the project, farmers are able to say what kind of treatment they need.
We basically make our first contact with biodigesters as the prospects. Then we guide them through the process of biodigester purchasing and even understanding the benefit of biodigesters. We also come in when the biodigester prospects are able to purchase a biodigester and they become biodigester users. And we also deal with the biogas construction enterprises, the BCs, the missions, and also the biodigester installations companies. We basically also do focus on bioslurry extension and promotion. Basically, after the farmer has been able to acquire the biodigester, then we come in handy to be able to provide bioslurry promotion and even the extension of how the farmer can go to utilize the bioslurry.
Of the 17,000 farmers we have supported under our program, some of them have actually adopted bioslurry utilization in their crops, using it differently in their spheres of influence, like maybe in fish farming, some of them in horticulture, others in coffee. And you can see even in our testimonial books that we have given you the success stories that we have. So yes, there's some efforts. We know Ken Organic Network, who we really want to work with them in terms of promoting bioslurry for organic farming. We are also doing some part on it. So yes, there's some efforts by farmers who are actually going ahead to commercialize bioslurry and actually use. So allow me to invite Dominic Wanjehi of BIOGAS International, Marion of Fair Trade, and Harrison Wikunda of Takamoto.
We started this project in 2015. It is funded by UK donors. This is a big lottery fund. We have JOAC, GOAC, and recently Dutch postcode lottery. And the main aim of the project is empowerment of women and girls through coffee production and trade. So far, we have seen tremendous results from the farmers who have been able to have functional biogas units. They've been able to apply this bioslurry in their coffee plantation. And for the women, under the support of the agronomist Jennifer, they've been able to use this bioslurry for production of horticultural crops, there is passion fruits, and the African indigenous vegetables. I would like to invite the researchers to come over, work with the women. This is the 450 women farmers who have biogas units at Kapgetun and Kapkiai cooperative societies, and document the real benefits as per your question in terms of how much saving are they making from the use of bioslurry versus synthetic fertilizers. Thank you.
So let's move to Dominic. Dominic at BIOGAS International, we know that you have actually worked with several projects. Just to mention about a few, maybe IFA and maybe others that you have worked with. But what is the extension agenda when it comes to the installation of your biodigesters?
Okay, I think like most people, we got into biogas because we were looking at the gas. What happened, we stumbled onto the fertilizer. It wasn't a priority in the beginning, it was just there. And again, it was drained away onto the side. It wasn't considered, a product. Because we were designing our systems to be out in the sun, as we changed models and kept on as we were upgrading, testing different sizes and shapes, 2 avocado trees that had actually died, they were just dry stalks remaining, they had some fungus or something. They suddenly came alive, and they shaded the area where we were testing the digesters. So we had to move them. We had to move our test area. And again, another avocado tree that is still where it also died, it suddenly came alive as well. And so we realized, okay, there's more to this biogas story than just the slurry. Now, this was during the R&D stage of our technology. We also noticed that when we were going and site visiting all of our clients, again, their slurry was just draining off onto the site. They weren't using it at all. So we learned by then how important it was and how beneficial it was. So we actually redesigned our packaging. We couldn't convince, because our system is portable, and we like to get it in there in a few hours and get out of there once it's installed. There was no way to carry a drum with you. So what we did was we completely redesigned our packaging. So the actual bag that the system comes in, we made it a cubicle water-sealed bag that we would then dig a hole on the outlet side of the digester. And by force, the slurry would not be able to drain it when it was collected. And that's when we noticed the farmers beginning to now, the use of the digester, started to use the fertilizers.
I first of all did what we call the soaking of the seeds. with the bioslurry. And from there, I can attest to what the professors and the writers have said in terms of the rate of germination. I did a packet of 1,000, and I can confirm that we almost made to get a germination of almost 900 seedlings from a packet of, so a 90% germination. And with that, I was able roughly to raise 150,000 within a portion. Maybe it is double this portion. The loan we are having, it is almost double to this. So for that, I give a testimony saying that truly bioslurry is the way to go. And for this opportunity, I want to thank all Kenya Biogas program and also the organizers and the research people, because personally I did it just like a real person, but today I will have the gut to say I have learned a lot, and they still are eager to go and run more and train our farmers in terms of usage of bioslurry. Thank you, and God bless you.
In Limuru, we normally say bananas don't grow. And even we are not taught in trainings about bananas. But I said I will try, even if I will not sell, I will plant few for us to eat. It is a success story because now my farm is full of bananas. I was admiring the Uganda farmers with bananas, and I was seeing as if it is me cutting. They are so big. You cut, and it is so big, you sell. You can't eat all, we have to sell. Also, I'm an avocado farmer. I plant hash avocados for export. In fact, my avocados in the market where we take, the sunlight are the people who take our avocados. Mine is 100%. I have no rejects. They are taken, all of it.
All of us, including expertise providers such as KBP, SNV, Land O'Lakes, others like the church-based organizations, ADS, Caritas, we all need to work together. So we bring in the farmers groups and cooperatives, milk and other produce buyers, as I say, banks and SACCOs, MFIs, expertise providers that I mentioned, to make it all that happen, but working together. All it will take in each area is one season of work. The same smallholder farmer who feels defeated will become prosperous, not farmer, entrepreneur.
So this conference was meant to bring together different key players that are playing very important roles in reaching out to farmers and households in the agriculture sector and also in the energy sector. And our main focus is extension. And you realize that the rise and fall of any technology actually depends on how the information about that technology is disseminated to the users.
This time I learned about many things that I didn't know and understand about bioslurry, of the other uses that I could use. We
believe that with bioslurry there are more benefits directly to the farm, to the livelihood of the farmer, than we can talk about when we talk about the gas, though the gas is equally important.
In fact, I have learned a lot. I have been with the biogas for the last 5 years, but I've never learned about bioslurry. I've been using it just the way I felt it, but now we have gone through a lot of stages how we are supposed to use it, especially when you are planting, when you are doing your planting, putting them on the soil, and also at the same time using it as a foliar feed. And you know, this one has no chemicals, nothing, and I feel now I improve a lot in my farming.
built consensus in the plenary is that we're going to develop what we call a bioslurry working group that is going to synthesize the findings that have been discussed, that have the information that has been discussed in the workshop, and come up with 2 documents. One document will be a policy brief, and the other document will be a short synthesized report.